Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to you all. Today in the grade 6 for the subject science we are going to study from the chapter 6, that is conserving our resources, and from this chapter we are going to start with the new lesson, that is lesson 2, air and water. So today we are going to study the pages, that is 328 and 329. So in the today's lesson, what are the learning objectives for the lesson air and water, that we will see now here. So please open the page 328 and 329. So here the learning objectives are: how is air useful, how Earth's atmosphere supports the life. Also we are going to see in this about the Earth's atmosphere, and particularly we are going to talk about the ozone layer. So these are the important things which we are going to see here. In all, we are going to see that how is air useful for us. So now let's talk about the how is air useful. Air is very useful natural resource, just like water, and has many uses. As we all aware, the most important aspect of air is that it keeps all living things on earth alive by providing oxygen. If there is no air, we cannot get the oxygen, and all the living things on the earth will not be there. So living things are not the only things that use oxygen. Air can also be used to produce energy, and also all the air on the earth together called the atmosphere. Now here the air is the mixture of gases on the earth. Air is mixture of gases on the earth. Also we can say about the atmosphere, a thick blanket of air surrounding the earth's surface is also called as the atmosphere. The moving air is called as wind, and that we can see from these two figures. These are the figures that moves with the help of wind. So now here we can see that the composition of the air, as we all aware that the nitrogen is the major component in the mixture of air. So nitrogen is about 78%, oxygen is 20%, carbon dioxide and other gases, that is 0.03%, inert gases mainly argon, that is 0.97%, and the water vapor it contains, that is 1%. So in all it makes the 100% of the mixture of the air. So now here let's talk about the balancing. How does it balance the air? Now here there is the oxygen in the air as well as the carbon dioxide in the air. So the balancing of this, we can see the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is maintained through respiration in plants and animals, and by photosynthesis by plants. So the plants produce oxygen during the photosynthesis and utilize oxygen during the respiration. So they produce much more oxygen during the photosynthesis than they consume. This is how the oxygen consumed by plants and to large extent by animals is replenished in the air through the photosynthesis. So the plants, they are giving us the oxygen, whereas they are using the carbon dioxide which we are releasing. They are using that carbon dioxide and making their food with the process of photosynthesis. So this is the way by which they can balance the oxygen and carbon dioxide in the air. Also we can say that the life is supported by air. So air supports the life. How does it support? We all need air to survive. As I just now said that air contains oxygen and carbon dioxide useful to plants and animals. So here the plants use carbon dioxide of the air to make their own food by the process called photosynthesis. And also let's see how air supports life in plants and animals. So this is the way that these plants, they are taking the carbon dioxide, giving us the useful oxygen for our living. So now here, this is the tree diagram where you can see that it contains oxygen and other gases that living things need. Also, it traps the energy from the sun, which keeps the surface warm and water in its liquid form, and also it protects from the radiations. So earth radiations. So here we can say that the earth's atmosphere, where you can say that the earth atmosphere is a major source of nitrogen, and this nitrogen is the most important plant nutrient, at least in terms of producing a reliable and large increase in the growth. So here the most of the advances in agricultural production since the 1940s have been owned by vast increases in nitrogen applications. More the nitrogen, more the growth. Typically soft, fast, sappy growth and deep green foliage. Our crops have been described as nitrogen green, referring to their phosphate status and the color. Here the deficiency of nitrogen, which called the stunting, and the yellowness, as well as the general poor growth. Also we can say that the atmospheric nitrogen, which is about the 78% nitrogen here, and the atmospheric nitrogen is not usable by most organisms. Bacteria are the important, which are in making nitrogen available to the other organisms. So bacteria plays very important role here for making the other organisms availability of the nitrogen. So here we can say that the Earth's atmosphere, it contains the layer which is called as the ozone layer. The ozone layer is it is the Earth's atmosphere that is made of special form of oxygen gas. So here you can say that the Earth, the another layer, that is the troposphere, ozone layer, then the stratosphere and mesosphere. There are different layers which we have been studied in our past lesson. So here from the sun, the UV radiations, they are coming on the Earth. So these radiations, they are being trapped by the ozone layer, they are absorbed by the ozone layer, and hence we are not getting the direct UV radiations to on the Earth. So this is what we can say, that this layer prevents nearly 99% of the sun's powerful ultraviolet rays from reaching Earth's surface, and the atmosphere's moving air or wind is source of energy. Just as blowing on a pinwheel's blade makes the pinwheel spin, and wind moves the blades of the windmill. So this is the way that we can say that the Earth's surface is being protected by 99% of the sun's powerful ultraviolet rays. They are being prevented by the ozone layer. So this layer, which is very important, and it is the special kind of thing, that is the Earth's atmosphere, that is made up of special form of oxygen gas. Here in this layer particularly we are finding the oxygen gas, and this is the very important thing that we in the today's discussion what we see here. So with this I am going to conclude here the today's lesson. I will be back with the further part of the lesson. Till then, thank you and goodbye.